Greetings, Japan fans. In today's show, we're looking at the question of really, should we be the leader? Are we really qualified? Do we actually know the hell what we're doing here? Do we know where we're going with all this? Are we an imposter? That is what we're going to talk about today. And welcome back to the Leadership Japan series. I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Storer, your corporate coaching and training guy, the president of Dalgony Training Japan, the best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery. We have a new book, How to Master Business in Japan, called Japan Business Mastery, and we are broadcasting around the world from Minato-ku in the center of Tokyo, the leadership capital of Japan, and Minato-ku is right in the path of this massive typhoon, which is channeling up Tokyo Bay right at this very moment I'm doing this podcast. By the time you hear it, it will have blown away, but hopefully we'll have minimal damage and everyone will stay safe. This podcast brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan, and trust me, it is different here. If you have feedback on the show or have preferences about potential future topics, then leave us your comments. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share this podcast. Now, our daily podcast lineup on iTunes looks like this. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentations Japan series. Wednesday, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, this one, the Leadership Japan series. And Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show podcast. Now, before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is for maybe you're supposed to meet someone, or you're supposed to be somewhere, and you have overslept. You've overslept and you go, oh, nebo shimashita, nebo shita, nebo shita, nebo shimashita, or short version, nebo shita, nebo shita, nebo shita. Neboshita. Oh, I've overslept. Neboshita. Oh, no, I've overslept. Neboshita. 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 This is episode number 329. 329. And today we are talking about the leader imposter syndrome. In any field, the people at the top can be plagued with self-doubt. It is especially prominent in the artistic world where creativity is so important. Am I creative enough? Original enough? Talented enough? It happens in sports too. The top players worry if they are past it. Can they get out of this performance slump? Will they be replaced by cheaper, younger teammates? So it is no surprise that this crops up in business too. The leader has a couple of key jobs. One is setting the direction and vision forward. What if they get this wrong? If the troops don't support it, or if it proves to be their folly? They have to run the processes. This is not too taxing because most companies' processes have been well refined. All it takes is to be well organised to make sure everything that is happening is at the quality, speed and cost level required. The other tricky component is building people. Building the people, wow, how hard can that be? Sounds simple enough, but is it? The boss has to make the decisions, and often with imperfect information. We rely on others for the insights, as often they are closer to the issue than we are. If we have a lot of people around us just like us, we may lack for diversity of view or opinion, and we can get into group think. Are we getting the correct information? Can we trust it? And can we get it in a timely manner? I was in a staff meeting and we were looking at a column of numbers. I'm not much of a numbers guy, but I felt there was something about a particular number which looked odd. The rest of the team swore black and blue the number was correct. I am rather stubborn, so I continued to challenge it, and it proved to be incorrect. Fine, bully for me, the boss, but were there other occasions where I was making decisions and the number was incorrect, but nobody picked it up, including me? Do I really know what I'm doing, setting the course for the company? Am I making the right resource allocations? Am I taking the actions at the right time? Do the does the team still believe in me? Before we were the leader, we were snugly ensconced in our comfort zone, doing our role very well. We knew how to do it and how to produce results. We had a lot of experience and expertise in our area, and we were competent. Now we have to lead others who, depressingly, are nothing like us. Some of them think they should have gotten our job and are doubtful about our abilities to perform in this role. The senior executives are putting pressure on us to get results, and now. Dealing with people is a pain, and one of the less attractive aspects of the work. Am I really a people person enough to be able to generate loyalty in others? Am I good enough a communicator to inspire others to become the best they can be? Am I a fraud? Find out more when we come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, but we also do custom in-house programs, and we do these in both Japanese and English. Now, today's program is sponsored by two of our courses, the Step Up to Leadership program and the Leadership Training for Managers program. Step Up to Leadership, next one is it's January 22nd next year, January 22nd next year, and Leadership Training for Managers, November 5th. Okay, Step Up to Leadership next year, January 22nd, Leadership Training for Managers next month on the 5th of November. Well, Step Up to Leadership, excellent little one-day program for bridging between being a player to becoming a leader. All the things you need to know. How do I do the performance assessment? How do I coach people? How do I communicate as a leader? What's my new role? What are my responsibilities? What am I supposed to be focused on? And these are the sorts of things that we have to deal with when we make that step. So that'll get covered in one day in that program. Leadership Training for Managers, this is for more experienced leaders, but they still have a long way to go. And this is to help them really lift their leadership potential. So it's a 7-week program. We also offer it as a 3-day program at different times. Unbelievably detailed. Amazing number of structures we give you. You don't have to work it out. No more trial and error. No more, Whoa. Now that noise you heard was the alarm, emergency alarm. On our phones in Japan we have alarms set up for earthquakes and whatever. And this one was a flooding alert, and we're up to level 4 warning, which is the second most serious warning. So sorry for that interruption, but I'm going to leave that on the tape, because when I talk about this typhoon hitting Tokyo, we're not kidding here, we're playing for real. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about leadership training for managers. Lots of structures, you don't have to work it out yourself. This is the real deal. And we are going to work it out for you, give you all the cadence you need, how to deal with mistakes, how to get innovation, how to do the planning, how to get performance, how to communicate, how to coach, the whole works. I call it the Swiss Army knife of leadership, because that's what it is. It covers everything you need. So that is coming up. That it will be 5th of November. That is not far away. So still some seats, I think, on that program. So get onto that. Time is running out. Now, our website's full of resources, useful resources. So go to enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Watch the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show on YouTube. You can listen to it on a podcast as well. And actually, if you like watching videos, we've got 860 of them. Actually, I think it's 865 on our YouTube channel, which is Japan Dale Carnegie TV. So we release 2 TV shows every week on YouTube. And one is, as I said before, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. And the other is a new show called Japan Business Mastery that comes out on Friday. So Cutting Edge Japan Business Show Mondays, Japan Business Mastery Show on Fridays. Also get my book, Japan Sales Mastery. This is the Bible for selling in Japan, and my new book, how to master business in Japan, called Japan Business Mastery. Welcome back. Well, are you a fraud? It is very easy to talk ourselves out of our potential and abilities when all we do is focus on our inadequacies, failings, foibles, and fears. There was a book published back in 1969 called The Peter Principle by Dr. Lawrence J. Peter and Raymond Hull, which stated that people rise in a hierarchy to their level of incompetence. The corollary is that senior posts are occupied by people who are incompetent to carry out their duties and will be removed once this fact becomes known. We begin to think that is our situation and are worried we are imposters awaiting execution upon discovery. For these reasons, we need to be constantly working on ourselves. We need to be constantly reading, listening to books and podcasts and going to conferences, joining study groups, attending events, doing courses, studying success models and mixing with the super successful. If we are not pushing ourselves hard to learn, we'll be run over by the endless drive of progress. We also need to be involving our people in decision making. The idea in this century that the boss is the font of all wisdom is laughable. The internet has put that concept to the sword. That means we must become skillful in delegation. Becoming a great coach of others is how we rise in organizations. Personal skills will only take us so far. A builder of champions is a valuable resource in every organization, and all organizations are screaming out for competent leaders. If we are busy working on ourselves and working on our business rather than just working in our business, we can keep one step ahead of falling victim to the leader imposter syndrome. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then tell your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share this podcast. You can contact me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Lots of great stuff on our website. That's enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. Watch our videos at Japan Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. Start reading Japan Sales Mastery, also Japan Business Mastery. Listen to my other podcasts, of which there are lots, and they're there every day. And watch my 2 TV shows, which come out every week, Monday and Friday. Until the next episode, take what you thought valuable, put into action, because idea application is what makes winners winners. So be one of them. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy here in Japan, here in Nippon, ready to help you grow your business.